Today's Draw Tip Tuesday is another sketchbook flip through. I filled this one in October and November. It really shows the transition from outside to inside because of the change of the season. And because it's a visual diary, you can really see that. There's also negative spaces, a lot of it, and a lot of other fun stuff. There's also a fun announcement and some tips for other videos to watch. So stay tuned. There are quite some tips hidden in this video about materials and resources and other stuff too. The sketchbook is a Hahnemühle Nostalgie size A5. The paper is smooth, which I love. It's not watercolor paper, but the paper is heavy enough to use watercolor on, and I do that a lot. I mentioned negative spaces in this sketchbook, and this actually really has a lot of that. I drew this bun just by drawing the space around it. Actually, these people, I just drew them that way, and I think it's just so exciting to start with a colorful wash, basically, and then on top start to play with the negative spaces. In this sketchbook, I've also used a lot of crayons, mostly water-soluble ones, and I played with that. I also did that during an online session on Lena's Patreon. I played with negative spaces and color and contrast, and if you want some colorful inspiration, check out Lena's Patreon. Of course, drawing in the living room, and you know I grab any opportunity, taking a break to drink some coffee and to sketch. I mentioned before that I like starting with a wash, and the wash was already on the page when I started drawing here, and that just gives that starting point and a certain kind of atmosphere to this drawing, which was in a really cool cafe, and I really like how that turned out. I didn't need much extra color for this. I added a little bit of bright pink and some black and gray, and then the yellow does the rest. Practicing drawing faces using photos from online, and again also focusing on a lot of negative spaces to get the shapes of the head. And I'm just having so much fun with that. Playing with several different kinds of pens, crayons, a black watercolor pencil. Oh, pro tip, work with limited tools when you have limited time. It will get you going easily and then also keep you going for the time that you have. No stress around choosing from all your tools. Okay, another wash to start with, and this is a little bit of a strange drawing maybe, or a little bit confused, but I had so much fun sitting on a bench in the woods doing this, and I filmed the process for Patreon, and that's the kind of content that you will find on my Patreon page. So if you're interested, you can go to my Patreon page, and maybe you want to try a 7-day trial. Just using pen is something that makes it quick, and I noticed that I love doing that again too. Maybe it has to do with the weather change and going back inside. I don't know, but it's interesting how things change in your sketchbook with every season or even every mood. This one was done during a live mini workshop where we drew different points of view. You can also join my live mini workshops. I do them every month. I'm adding the link at the end of this video so you can sign up. This one too is on Patreon, the whole process and also the thought process of the ugly phases that I went through and all of that. Drawing in the theater, that was fun. Here's some more of that negative space play. So I went out to draw with my dad, which is the best. And I started by drawing the things around his head and then drawing him and just playing with negative spaces on top of a wash again. The wash really helps me to get started and to get some kind of a vibe on the sketchbook page. And yeah, with this one, he is the most important, but we were also sort of on a square with lots of buildings. So I freely interpreted them. For drawing on the go, you need to be smart about your tools. I was lucky to have a seat, but could have done this standing as well. Just using a chunky marker, then you can do a lot and fill a whole page. Great memories in these drawings where I was sketching with my sketchy friends. We meet up every month and it's so much fun to look forward to and then to catch up and draw together and laugh and have fun. This one here you might recognize from a previous Draw Tip Tuesday video that was all about lettering. And if you missed that video, I will share it at the end of this video so you can watch it next. And here is a quick drawing while I was sitting on the couch, very tired, watching a show. Oh, of course, capturing the season, the leaves falling. Negative spaces again. This little house here is not a little house, it's a big building, but that is all negative space. Or let's say I drew it because I drew all the stuff around it, and then I added the windows, of course. Every now and then I go to Just Draw Party on YouTube to practice drawing people and their postures and poses. It's really great. I highly recommend the Just Draw Party channel. I went to the north of the Netherlands and drew this on the day of arrival. This is a drawing of the apartment I stayed in. I also traveled virtually to Arizona and drew together with some friends online. I've been on a little retreat, a work retreat by myself to work on a course that is inspired by my book. I'm very excited about it. It's not done yet, but it will be, and you will know when I launch it. But it will be really fun. It's an online course accessible for anyone who wants to take a class online, and it's based on my book. And if you don't have my book yet, you can still get that also online. Pro tip: food is always a great subject to draw. These Brussels sprouts tasted really good, but the drawing of them before preparing them might have actually been even better. So much fun. Drawing at the canal where I stayed for my work retreat. And back in my own town, drawing in a café. Drawing my husband. If you don't know what to draw, then just look around and see what you have. And then you might actually discover that you have a whole lot of stuff and a whole lot of one thing. Like box cutters. I had no idea that I had so many. Faces from a television show. Not every drawing has to be a masterpiece as long as you're just doing it, right? So this is a page that I'm not proud of, and yet I am holding it here next to my face, showing it to you. Sometimes you're just not feeling it, and still, even if it makes you more grumpy because it's not working, it doesn't matter. You're doing it. You're bringing in your practice, and yeah, on to the next page, right? And these are the last pages already. I made an envelope in the back out of the wrapper of the sketchbook, and on to the next sketchbook. Yay! I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!